Hola, mi gente. Joe Barreto here from Viva Margarita in Hackensack, New Jersey. I am the chairman of SOMOS NJ PAC. Behind the scenes here, we have Alexandra Acosta, our treasurer. I want to thank Manny from Viva Margaritas for letting us host this introduction here of Daniel Park, who is a current councilman in Tenafly. Daniel's also now running for the District 37 legislative seat here in Hackensack. And I want to introduce Dan. Dan, thank you for coming with us here live.
Of course.
Dan, introduce yourself to the people and tell everybody why you decided to run for a seat now.
Hey, everyone. My name is Daniel Park. I've been a council person in Tenafly for the last 12 years. In 2013, I ran because my town is roughly 30% Korean, and we've never had representation in Tenafly. I grew up there from second grade all the way through high school. It's my home, and I love living in Tenafly. I took the opportunity to run and represent my community, and it's been a phenomenal 12 years. We've got a lot of things done. I've gotten multilingual 911 access for all our residents. We finally hired a Korean officer who was bilingual, and it's those small things at the local level that really matter to all our communities, and it's miles and miles of worth of progress.
Now, Dan, the district that you're going to represent if you win, I mean, you're talking about small businesses that are Korean-owned in Powell Park. You're talking about churches that are run by a lot of African-American churches in Englewood, right? Hackensack is a huge, diverse community that has a lot of Latino families coming in and new businesses opening up. How can you represent these people now here in this area, and what makes you stand out from the other candidates that are running for this position?
So I've lived here pretty much my entire life. When I was a kid, eating at all the Korean restaurants in Fort Lee, Palisades Park, Leonia, the restaurants here in Hackensack, the small businesses, they all have the same thing in common. It's survival. You support them as needed. It doesn't matter what you're serving, what food you're serving. The guys in the back have the same problem. Currently, back in 2020, when COVID lockdown hit, I was fortunate enough to be working at the county. I found out about state American Rescue grants, and I worked with all the communities to kind of trickle that down. So the best example is I worked with the mayor of Palisades Park, Chris Chung. He was able to disseminate the grant information to the small businesses. And in 2020, Palisades Park, 2 square miles, got more money than Hackensack for their small businesses because of the footwork he did. It's grassroots. It's knocking doors. It's talking to people, finding the right connection. If there's a language barrier, finding the right connection. If I needed help, I would reach out to you. If I needed help in another community, it's just knowing where your toes can go and your fingers can go in each individual community for outreach. It's literally being connected to the community, and it is a diverse community, but you have to represent everyone equally and make sure that everyone has a seat at the table and is heard.
Now, is this your main reason why you decided to run? Is this the reason why you feel that you kind of have a leg up on the other candidates that are running? I mean, I know that there's a lot of people running for the different seats now, especially given that there's no official party line.
Correct.
Even though when you look at some advertising out there, you have people saying, oh, we're backed by the official.
We're officially endorsed. Correct.
Right.
Like a badge of honor when it shouldn't be.
And what do you think about that? What motivates you? What drives you in this?
So my time on council, the last few years especially, we've been getting hammered by state policies on our property taxes. Hammered. You're going to feel it in Hackensack. You'll feel it twice as hard in Teaneck because they're much bigger than us. But a lot of state policies trickle down to us. And as a council person, I can't stop it. It's just an automatic tax increase. It's just poor policy making. It's not thinking about the locals. And we're trying to bring that back down. And to the point of a lot of people running, it's a good thing. Democracy is good, of course. The final straw for me on top of the governmental tax issues was the politics of it. Was last year, Andy Kim wanted to run for state senate. Great candidate, phenomenal American, all American boy. Did great resume, great track record as a congressman. And then out of nowhere, Tammy Murphy wanted to run. Out of nowhere, the entire state Democratic Party rallied behind her. Behind the closed door meetings, all the deals being made, and then what does the Bergen County chairman do? Hey, Dan, we're running a endorsement letter for Korean Americans for Tammy Murphy. I'm not your token Korean guy. We have our community to represent. We have our interests too. Your interests. So you like, don't cross that line. We gotta you can't just use our communities like that for your interests. That was the final nail in the coffin. I'm sure it happens to every minority community. I'm sure it does. It's time to get away from that. Take the power from the party and bring it back down to the people. And there are people who signed that endorsement letter. One of them's running for the seat I'm running for. Yeah, it's how long is that leash gonna be? How long can you have a leash on till your community suffers?
And I think, and I'm glad you said that, because part of the issue that, Alex and I have been facing the last couple of years is the being taken for granted role, right? That they see us as just a vote. They don't hear us. They don't listen to us. And not just, any particular party. It just seems that once you're in that position, they automatically will lump you in and think, okay, just sign off.
Yep.
Did you catch a lot of heat for standing up for yourself and for your people?
Oh, of course.
And what about the other people in your community? Did anybody come to your defense and say, hey, Dan, thank you so much for, standing your ground and not just signing off on something arbitrarily?
So folks politically involved, obviously, they thought I stabbed them in the back. But no, in general, in terms of the community, my community especially, recognize that there's two Koreans running. I mean, it happens everywhere now. We're at a place where Palisades Park, Fort Lee, Leonia, we have multiple Korean races. I mean, it's going to happen. Populations are growing. You have to represent. I mean, Hackensack, there's Latinos against Latinos, African Americans against running on two different slates. It's going to happen. I mean, the fact that it's what you said, it's the mentality of automatic. They're there, it's automatic. Don't mess with them. Why?
And I'm going to say this and it might come out wrong. And again, we didn't script any of this, all right? But it's like, for how many decades you have two older white men that run for a position, right? And nothing is ever said, right? Then you have two Koreans running for the same position. And it's almost like it's a crime. Like they shouldn't be two, right? It's like the same thing when it comes to Latino representatives. Oh, no, you can't pit one against the other. Who says that? We're the same. We were born, raised here. Like, who gives people the right to automatically think for us, make our own policies and stuff when they're not from our background?
Exactly.
And I'm guessing that you're fed up with that.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't mean to lead you in any direction with this conversation, but I can sense.
Yeah, there's been issues. I've been in this game 12 years, 13 years, and there have been times you can't. They block you from doing certain things. It's a very short leash, and it's not in our interest. It's in their interest. That's got to change. Fortunately, this year, people have a better choice in the ballot box this year. I mean, there's going to, instead of us lining up with the governor's assembly, instead of a party line, so to speak, the old ballot system, Andy Kim sued last year and won, rightfully. Now you just vote for a governor, who you choose for governor, who you want for state assembly, and who you want for county commissioner, and then your council people and mayors.
So how do you feel about when people are running ads online and saying that they're the official right? They have the official backing of the party. They have this. Now, how does that work when it really shouldn't be that?
They technically still think like last year. They have the party's endorsement. They had a convention. All the county committee members voted. We didn't put our name in. We didn't want their endorsement. We ran on a different slate completely. But again, they want to wear it like a badge of honor. Let them. It's their. They did it officially. The party. That's fine. I mean, what are you gonna? They want to stamp it. Think about it like the old way. That's their choice.
Okay.
We have separated ourselves from them completely, and we're doing it a different way. We're going down to the resident level. We're going local. We're going grassroots. It's very different.
Alex?
Can you explain to our viewers and to new voters, right, or people that are going to vote this year without the ballot line, or the slogans are a little confusing on who is running on who? So I'm voting, right? There's 3 ways to vote in New Jersey. What are those ways? And if I want to support you, right, I'm a resident of Tenafly or Inglewood, how do I vote for you? How do I cast my vote?
So vote by mails went out late April. You would have got it in the mail, and you would have seen immediately that the governor's box had 6 people in it for Democrats. You vote for one, and then right next to it would have been the state assembly in whatever district you live in, and it would have been all the choices. I'm in the District 37 bracket with six folks. We got 5 and 6. Me and my running mate Tamar Warburg, and you choose 2 there. You can mix and match. You can choose me, vote 2. You can pick me and someone else. You can pick 2 of your favorite folks. You don't have to vote for my entire team, which is democratic. It's perfect. The way it should be.
So we have more
Yeah.
choices. Okay.
Way more choices.
So we're going to see a list of candidates running for governor, a list of candidates running for state
State
assembly.
assembly, then
and
the
certain
county
local-
races, right? So
certain
it's going to
local
go down. It goes down in jurisdiction.
So-
State, 2 states, county, and then your local, like mayor and councils.
So for state assembly specifically, we have a choice to choose 2
Correct.
out of that.
Right. Assembly's a
political
2-seat
party,
per.
whether
Yep.
it's-
2 seats per district. Yep.
And then you vote the day of, you can vote.
Early
Before-
voting starts. So don't get me start next Saturday. No, what's today? It's a week before the real election, which is June 10th. So -7
Third?
is the final day of election early voting. Yeah,
Okay.
I think it starts the 3rd actually.
It starts the 3rd?
It starts the 3rd, goes to the next Sunday before election day.
Excellent. And can you tell us too how the primary works? This year it's a different date, but if I want to kind of get what is primary day and why is it important to be involved?
So it is currently May. The primary vote will be to decide which Democrat and which Republican goes to November to fight it out to be a representative of New Jersey. We are fortunate in District 37 that's very Democratic. So that's why there's so many Democrats running this year. Once governors decided in the Democratic Party, that winner will go to November to face the Republican. When the Republicans decide on their side, in their primary, who they want to send. Same thing with assembly and commissioners and locals. So it's within the Democratic Party right now and the Republican Party on their side to decide who are we picking to go to November.
So this is a good opportunity for voters to be involved and get their voice or their seat
Right.
at the table of who are they selecting versus these conventions that are
So
close
this
to
is
it.
why this primary is so important, because to his point, we're challenging the current existing Democratic Party. We're challenging that system. We're bypassing it. Obviously, we're doing it a different route, but because we're not the endorsed or anointed candidates or handpicked in secret rooms, we're going our own grassroots route and completely ignoring that power structure.
But
Now,
at
who
the
is
same time-
backing you right now? Who do you have that's
So our governor's candidate, Stephen Fulop, the mayor of Jersey City, is backing us. We are on all our mailers and all our infrastructure, so to speak, is with him. I think he's a phenomenal candidate. I've heard him speak about local issues. He's a mayor of the second largest city in New Jersey. He's the things he's done there. We speak the same language on municipal and state relationships and how it can be way more efficient. So we speak the same language, and that's what inspired me to join his team. And it's been great so far.
And how has the Korean community embraced you now that you're running, against another Korean for the same spot? And that really hasn't come up until it was local, right?
Right.
How is that? How are you handling that? Do you have any debates scheduled amongst both of you? Anything like that?
I don't think we have any. No, we don't have any debates set up. But the Korean community, again, they are going to pick who best represents them, and now they have a choice. They can go Ellen Park, Dan Park. They can vote for two. They can vote for Dan Park and whoever else, or they can pick Ellen Park and whoever else. It's pure freedom. I've heard everything from I'm only voting for Dan Park from the Korean community. I've heard I've been voting for both Koreans because it's the best interest for me, or I'm only voting for Ellen Park. I've heard every combination. There's pure freedom this year. There's no animosities. It's what's good for what's good for the Korean community.
I'm glad you said there's no animosity, because I think sometimes people that are not of that community, of the community that's being represented, wants to see some friction. They want to see some
The
back
reality
and
TV.
forth. Right. They want to see that. And knowing that there isn't, because here's the thing, it should be a proud moment in the Korean community that you have two different people of the same background running for a position. And, that hasn't happened. It's a total different ball game now. So instead of being so negative, it should be something positive that, obviously you want to win, but you would want your representation to be there. And now you have two chances at that.
Right, absolutely. And it's the thought that I stepped on someone's toes or I backstabbed someone. It's that weird party mentality that I did something wrong. Like I didn't ask for permission to do this. I'm like,
but you've been doing this for 12 years, as you
Right.
said. You've worked at the county level for the party. You've done the grassroots when they needed you to do it back then. You're doing it now. Why do you still feel that there's this anti-Dan Park from the party, as opposed to embracing you and embracing everybody else that is a Democrat? Like, why can't the party just embrace the people running and say, hey guys, have at it?
It's a power struggle. It's purely a power struggle, because when there's an important issue that comes up and it's probably going to be financially motivated, I'm not an automatic rubber stamp. Hey, vote for this way because it's good for us, but not for your community. Rubber stamp it. Perfect example, the Andy Kim endorsement. Ellen Park signed on. I didn't. Why? Because she had to rubber stamp it, because someone told her to. I'm free of that. I am freeing myself from that leash. I'm leashless in terms of that.
Now, did Senator Kim ever reach out to you and speak to you, or have you spoken to him since and say, look, I didn't rubber stamp it? Nothing.
Why would I have to? Why would
No, I'm
that?
saying, did he ever reach out and just say, hey, why didn't you do this? That's what I'm saying.
No, it shouldn't be. It shouldn't even come to that level of checking in on me on that.
Okay.
You shouldn't even have to thank me for that. It should be an automatic. Yeah, he did the right thing because he's a good person, or he's thinking about the right thing, or it shouldn't be automatic. The only phone call that should come is, why did you sign up to that as a Korean American? Not the other way around. That's my base level.
Okay.
You don't mess with that. You go back. That's taking a step backwards for your community. It should be the base level should be, why would I sign that letter? Why? And it's that mentality of, it's good for the party. It's good for us because Tammy Murphy's going to win. I don't care if she wins or not. I'm not signing on.
And we saw the backlash of that form of thinking, which I'm glad, part of what SOMOS NJ PAC does is to kind of change the narrative, right?
Yeah.
And we're in 2025. There seems to be a disconnection with political leaders or political organizations with reality, with life, with our growing population, diversity, other leaders that could actually bring more substance to the table.
I
right?
promise you, my situation with the Andy King letter has happened every other community. I promise you that.
Correct.
Every single community. Josh Gottheimer calls me once every 2 years. Hey, we're doing a roundtable for Korean Americans for Josh Gottheimer for Congress. You want to be on it? No. Calls me once every 2 years. And
that's,
he doesn't call me, the staff calls me, but
and we got to change that now. That cannot continue to occur because.
why would I want to be in a position of power one level below
Correct.
some guy I don't know has zero insight into my community? Why is he giving me orders about my community?
Correct. And
that's in every community.
every community.
Every community.
And we have to change that.
I mean, that's my goal.
And that's the goal, right? Because
Cut out the middleman
cut out the middleman.
who has no interest. You're
And,
cutting out the
you know,
middleman
We
who has
get it,
interest.
power and money and certain negotiations. We're not even discussing that, right?
Yep.
There's always that
Yep.
politics will always be tainted with corruption, right? It is what it is. But moving that aside, it's that one-on-one, that changing that mentality and live in reality. You know, there's sometimes that's a fantasy to me. You know, you call me and expecting that endorsement, it's kind of laughable, right? And you want to kind of say, where's your common sense or your
Yeah,
intellectual level?
it's also
It just,
yeah.
that's, and if
how
you
you-
see it from a business
yeah,
perspective and data, it doesn't make sense
Yep.
either. So going back to that, as a state assembly, now you're dealing with, you're gonna leave that local one-on-one with your constituents, now you're representing 10. Every legislative district has between 10 to 13 towns that you represent, right? And we know that LD 37 is rich of diverse
It's the most
communities.
diverse, yep.
But you will be representing all those voices, right? What are you bringing to the table for your constituents as a state assembly representative who will have an independent voice, right? Part of it is you still need some form of political support to be able to push a committee, a vote or legislation or get on committee agenda. Do you think that you could still have that independence once you do make it to the state house? And what kind of policy do you feel you're able to bring back to your community?
So to be effective in Trenton, let's say a bill I write is opposed to the state party's interests, you just have to make a lot of noise about it. I want to write common sense stuff that makes sense for every community or whatever state in terms of policy. If it's common sense and it gets killed at the state level, have to make noise about it. Or figure a way out that is passable. I mean, that's the politics. I haven't even thought about that yet because that's so far down the line. But in terms of constituent services, I have my reservations with the current incumbents. My day one goal would be to hire someone to answer the phone that's trilingual. I have friends who can speak. I know people in our community, in both our communities, South American Koreans who can speak 3 languages, both Spanish, Korean, not both, and English. I mean, it's small things like that can make a big difference because constituent services is huge in our district. Again, making policies bring back state dollars back to us locally, supporting our nonprofits in the proper way, partnering with our nonprofits in the proper way, in an efficient way. For example, social services. They constantly reach out to me. Do you know anyone who's bilingual Korean? We're having issues. I put out the feelers. I get resumes. Why hire someone at, let's call it $50K a year when you can write that grant to a nonprofit partner and have that run? That one full-time employee could be an entire organization. Why? Small things. Why pay for an employee when you can literally have 5 nonprofits do the same exact work? Just a little training, a few months of training, do the same thing and be a partner instead of hoarding that power or whatever you want to call it, that responsibility. Work with your locals, get down to the street level. It's so easy to fix.
Now, I wanted to ask, because we're coming up a half hour or so, have you been having any conversations with any members from the Latino community, from the African American community, from other communities that you're going to hopefully represent if you win? Have you had any backing from them? Have you had conversations or anything else of that nature?
Not in particular. It's just whoever I meet. Like organization wise, no, this would probably be my first organization wise, because a lot of them are in our area are nonprofits. I haven't messed with them. I don't want to put their 501(c) status in risk or anything like that.
Well, I don't even mean from a financial, I mean, just in terms of, let's say you're in a town, a local community, a church, an organization, whatever, just somebody that's from a different background. Like if you came to Hackensack, have you had anybody say, okay, I like you, but what would you do or what can you do for my community? How would you represent my community?
Again, it's just raising that community's voice and bringing them to the table. Every time I knock doors, it's we all have the same issues. Our number one priority right now at the doors has been property tax. I knock a door, someone opens the door, they're like, my property tax is insane. Like, it's gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse. And that's everyone's mind. I don't care where you're from, property tax is number one. And we've been bringing that to the forefront. But in terms of representation, everyone, it's the most, District 37, not one minority we're all about 20%, roughly, just shy of 20%. We should all have a seat at the table. It should be representation. If there's issues that come up, one of the biggest issues here has been immigration. Korean restaurants in the beginning, when the ICE raid started, were closing because staff wasn't showing up. Both Korean and the Latino community weren't coming to work out of fear. It's bad for everybody. We might not look the same, but we have the same issues.
Right.
It's
So you try to find common ground where there's issues that cover, everyone basically, and that's what you're going to try to explain to people if they come to you and they say, hey, why should I? For instance, there's another woman that's running for assembly who is Dominican, right? So me being Latino, why would I back you and choose you as opposed to someone who I feel might know me better or might represent me better?
So that goes back to the old way of thinking, how she's Dominican, she'll only worry about the Latino community. It shouldn't be that way. I mean, it should be everyone's concern. They're going to be similar. There might be outliers, like the language barrier is hard to fix each community, obviously. But at the base level, we've all got the same problems. But at the same time, my thing is that community shouldn't be siloed. Your community shouldn't have walls up. You shouldn't be insular. You got to work together. Power in numbers. My running mate is a modern Orthodox Jewish woman. Her biggest concern with her community has been, why do we keep to ourselves? It's been a great partnership for me and her, because I'm learning a lot about the Jewish community. She's learning a lot about the Korean community. And what clicks is we do the same things, just in a different colors.
Right.
It's exactly the same thing. It's cannot laser focus on one community, expect them to back you when there's a bigger picture to worry about. It's the same problem of you got to think of everyone equally, got to bring everyone to the table and just discuss what the issues are. And what you find out, we're all like, we got the same problems.
Now, you mentioned a few times now bringing everybody to the table. That's something that a lot of politicians say, and I can tell you, and Alex and I have gotten in trouble in the past for this, because when that was a promise that we got, it never really happened, right? So how can you sit here now and tell everyone out there that that's going to be a priority for you, that that's something that they can call you out on if that doesn't happen?
Because there's nothing, I can say this because there's no leash attached to any community to me. If you want to be represented, come to the table. There's no, I need something from you too, though. There's no political capital between us. There's no capital between me and the African American community. It's our mode of thought. Our base mode of thought is what is good for the community. It's not what can they do for me. If I have you, will it help me in 2 years when I have another election?
Right.
There's no taking from the community. It's what can we offer the community. It's a backwards type of thinking.
Okay.
Politically, I need SOMOS. Why? Because they're 14% of my vote.
Right.
Why would I think of it that way? It should be, if I do well for the Latino community, they might vote for me again. It's like a job interview.
Right.
It's not the automatic, like you said, it's not the automatic rubber stamping.
Okay.
It should never be that. It should be, you should want to vote for me. You don't have to vote for me.
Now,
That's the difference.
I want you to look straight into the camera and tell the camera why, in your parting words, why people should take notice and make it a point to vote for you.
What we're doing is changing the political landscape of New Jersey. What Team Fulop is doing across the state, he's doing the same thing we're doing. He's running without the party support. We have 40 assembly candidates up and down the state, north all the way to south. We are all doing the same thing, trying to shake it up, the political party system up. We're really going grassroots. We're bringing it back down to the residents. And again, we're not tethered to anything. So we can actually work for people, not a power structure that has only their interests in mind. It's literally we're bringing it to the streets. We're bringing it to the doors. We're bringing it to residents.
And that's one of your specialties, right?
Yeah.
As an elected official, you have and continue to do, which is a missing piece on many of these campaigns, and the lack of outreach is nobody wants to work. And Daniel Park works grassroots, knocks on doors. They try to get you off the ballot a few years ago, but that grassroots effort kept you honest, and it kept you as a representative.
Now, what about, is there a website that the viewers can reach out to? Yeah. How can they find out more about you and your
Our
campaign?
website's Park Warburg, WARBURG, the number 4 Assembly. So Park Warburg 4 Assembly. Our socials are linked there, and more info for the political stuff and our policy stuff is on there. There's StephenFulop.com for the governor's info, and he's been a big leading charge on this issue as well. And we'll see you guys at the polls.
So, Daniel, I thank you for being here with
Thank
us
you for having
today.
me. Thank you for having me.
I thank you for you just being upfront, honest, and transparent. It's a breath of fresh air, God knows. And we wish you nothing but the best in the future. And we hope to have you back here again. Mi gente, we thank you so much for being with us today. There'll be more to come. Like we always say, I mean, we're here for the community. We're here to give a voice and lend a voice to those that are voiceless. And I want to thank Dan for being a part of this today. Until next time, mi gente, take care.